Hi there, and welcome back to the Rangers News YouTube channel. It's Jordan Carlisle here, still alongside James Black.
Hello, hello.
And we're just moving on from talking about Hearts and the debacle of Tynecastle. It's deja vu because it's 3 times this season. We're going to talk about Steven Gerrard's future. So obviously he came out after the game, Rangers TV interview, and plenty of people were reading into it because he looked a beaten man. He was clearly very angry. Took responsibility himself, but also, said that he didn't recognise the team in comparison to the European game. People didn't stand up and be counted, which is obviously what people could see watching on from afar. But a lot of people read into that he'd be considering his future over the next 24, 48 hours. We've had stuff out since then, club insiders and guys like Kevin Thompson who've said that, everyone's behind him and he'll not be going anywhere. He's a winner and he'll want to put this right. But there's certainly plenty of fans all over social media basically starting a bit of a Gerrard out movement and really calling for his head and that was the final straw. So, how I think we talked about this recently, but, how would the club benefit from him stepping aside now? And yeah, exactly. What do you think?
Hyperbolic, knee-jerk nonsense. There was stuff doing the rounds last night. I know you referenced it there with Kevin Thompson. The rumour doing the rounds on Sunday night was that Kevin and Peter Lovenkrands were going to take interim charge after Gerrard resigned. I mean, who dreams up this garbage? I mean, I take it these are the same fucking brain trust that come up with Morelos left Ryan Christian needing emergency testicle surgery and it's madness.
Does Thompson not take under 16s?
16s, yeah. 16s, 18s.
McCallum's 18s.
16s,
But, as a guy who's not even been on the full-time staff as a coach for very long, so it's a bit far-fetched.
I think the basic gist it was that it was anybody but Merckx. And truth be told, if by some miracle Gerrard was to, I say miracle, if by some absolute ridiculous set of circumstances Gerrard was to resign, then all right, Murty would not likely be the go-to stand-in. But God, I'd be amazed if it was Kevin Thompson and Peter Lovenkrands. I don't understand what kind of people are expecting. And some of the reaction to Gerrard's interviews just blew my mind. I remember the Scottish Cup semi-final where we got humped off Celtic and the Celtic fans chanted Andy Halliday's name and it was the kind of final straw for Murty. And he gave an interview after it saying he had not been in and spoken to the players. It wasn't the right time to do it. And he was hammered for all corners. He was a coward, he was a shite bag, he was this, that and the next thing. Gerrard does it and it's the right move. Let the players stew. What changed?
Well, there's a lot of chat, isn't there, that the idea that it's now got to a point where if he didn't have the profile he had before he came to the club, that he'd be away and that these results aren't acceptable and that sort of thing.
Ask Ali McCoist about that one.
Aye. Adored beforehand and then ridiculed.
Ali McCoist has done more for Rangers Football Club than Steven Gerrard can possibly dream that he will ever achieve for Rangers Football Club. And nobody gave Coisty a free ride when he was manager. Yeah. So why anybody thinks that, and with the greatest respect to Steven Gerrard as a person, as a footballer and everything else, what some random scouser's done, because in the grand scheme of things at Rangers Football Club, Gerrard is still just a random scouser. He's nobody at Rangers Football Club. He's not. His legacy's at Liverpool.
Yeah.
And with England, he had 10 minutes with LA Galaxy. So, what's this profile folk going about? His profile means nothing at Rangers.
Yeah, well, I think that's, I think you're perfectly right there, but it's the difference between a Caixinha coming in and you're like, oh, he's this overseas, he's a foreign manager, he doesn't have a great history in the game and all that, whereas Gerrard comes in and everyone's like, right, Rangers have a winner here, like he's not connected to the club, but he's a big figure, big personality, and he's done it in the club career, so that can translate. But I think most people's frustrations are the fact, and we've talked about it before, that we've already slipped up twice at Tynecastle this season, and why was there nothing different? Like, why? It's surely, as they always say, it's like the definition of insanity to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Naivety and experience.
But how? But how? I don't understand that. Surely the inexperience thing goes out the window because, he has experienced it.
Yeah,
Everyone watching has
I
experienced
think there's
how it
maybe
doesn't work.
a certain element of. I mean, Gerrard is still very much wet behind the ears as a manager. And even when you look at his coaching staff, Mick Beale's fantastically qualified as a coach. He's never been the main man in his own right. And Gary Mack, he was his own manager at one point. He managed Coventry?
Yeah, Coventry. I don't think he did great, yeah. Yeah.
A team where one win out of three's a decent run of form. A 1 win out of 3 here, a crisis.
Yeah.
So it's a weird one because Gerrard leaving would be madness because you're going to have to, first of all, you have to bring somebody new in with their own coaching staff, which is going to cost money. You're going to have to pay off Gerrard's existing coaching staff, which is going to cost money. Any new manager's going to want to bring in their own playing staff, which is going to cost money. You're going to have to get rid of the duds, which, given Rangers' recent history of moving on players in the last decade, it's going to cost money.
Yeah.
Is the one thing that Rangers fans have pissed and whined about for long enough is that we're no spending money. So where's this money all coming from? It's just a knee-jerk load of nonsense. And every Rangers manager's had it, to be fair, or at least anyone that's had a reasonable length of time in charge. I can remember going back to Walter Smith's second reign in charge, where there was a particular December. I can't even remember which year it was, but there was a particular December where it was like 5 games, 5 wins, 5 clean sheets or something. And for the next 8 months, all you had was, why can't we play like we played in December? Because there's this idea that everything just kind of goes into a nice wee pretty bow, and Rangers pay more money than that team, so Rangers should be beating that team quite comfortably. And I suppose it's one of the intangibles of football is that things will always go tits up when you least expect it. I've seen it happen to the best of Rangers teams. I've seen it happen to the worst of Rangers teams. I watched a Dick Advocat team with, actually I think it might have been a McLeish team by this point, but with De Boer and all that lot go away and draw to Berwick Rangers.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell them the likes of De Boer were garbage because they drew to Berwick Rangers. These things happen. But it's how they respond to it. And the worry for me more than anything just now is that when things aren't particularly going well, rather than kind of show a little bit of faith in guys who are struggling, I almost feel something that Gerrard's quite happy to throw players under the bus. I know I seen a comment on Twitter over the weekend saying that, and I really agreed with it when I read it and kind of thought about it. When you watch his press stuff, is that a manager you're listening to or a captain you're listening to?
I thought that was a really good point. I saw that as well. And he is very emotional when he comes out, and he's obviously, that is his experience. If we're saying he's inexperienced as a manager, he's certainly not as a captain, as a leader on the pitch, and it does seem as though he's coming off being like pointing blame in certain directions, whereas, and the one thing is that he has always said that he'll be really honest in his post-match stuff and his pre-match stuff, but the thing is that maybe is something that he needs to learn going forward is if you look at other managers, a lot of them aren't honest at all. They'll make stuff up. They'll say if they've seen a challenge.
Football full of bullshitters.
Yeah, and the player should have been sent off. He'll say, "Oh, I haven't seen it yet." Or he'll say that he'll just basically go no comment, be there for 30 seconds, and then leave. It's not a 5-minute breakdown of, well, I was really disappointed by the players that came in, or a trio of guys. He's sort of singling out people without saying their names, and taking responsibility while also offloading it simultaneously. So, but I think, sorry, go ahead.
To use Nico Katic as an example, you look before the Braga game. I mean, you can go right back through Gerrard's quotes and Katic over the last 18 months. I mean, particularly before the Braga game, it was how he's an exemplary pro, and he's the kind of guy that he won't dwell on his mistakes, and he'll take responsibility and he'll stand up to them, and he's somebody that Gerrard, if you listen to what Gerrard says, he thinks the absolute world of, and then bind him. I mean, that can't be good for a guy's confidence.
Yeah, obviously he was atrocious.
Oh, it was woeful.
Yeah, the game before he got dropped at St Johnstone. But yeah, I understand there's a disconnect between what he says and what happens.
It's difficult to, I mean, if Gerrard's going to say that he's honest to his players and in the press, I don't see where he can come out. And there's been a couple of times just in the last week or so to use Niko Katic's performance to say that he's this exemplary player and then drop him. Or to come out after the Hearts game and say Stephen McLean's performance was fine as a referee. I mean, that's up there with one of the worst refereeing performances I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That was perfectly fine by Gerrard. No, I don't know if that was him trying to kind of come across as magnanimous and, we're not going to use it as an excuse for our defeat. But if he's going to be honest in the press, and be honest in the press, don't kind of make yourself look like a bit of a dick by saying that this guy's brilliant and then drop him.
Yeah.
Watch that refereeing performance and say it was fine. There's too many times where I think he tries to be too cute for his own good.
Yeah. So we think going forward, there's no issue of the job at the minute.
No.
Got it this summer and then beyond, and probably they might see, because the thing is that the board have come out and said things, extended all the contracts, and they would look stupid if they turned it now because they backed the man and the plan and all that sort of stuff. But going forward, the problem now is that things picked up after we were out of the race last season, and it's essentially pointless. But what would you like to see going forward in terms of, do you want to see tactical changes, different players given goes, like what, or do we continue down the same route?
I just want to see a team that looks like they actually give a flying one. That's the big thing just now. I don't care if they play pretty patterns. I don't care if they win every game 5-0. Hell, I don't care if they win every game 5-4. I just want to see a team that isn't going through the motions at times. Because you look at the Braga game, and we've seen that's what they're capable for. If that's the high watermark, that's what it has to be every single week. It can't be that 1 week, and then Hearts 3 days later, or St Johnstone a couple of days before it, because that's simply not good enough. And it's maybe something that Gerrard hasn't quite picked up on yet, because I don't for a minute think it's the same at Liverpool, despite their kind of recent wee purple patch.
Yeah.
If you go 3 games at Rangers without winning, it's a crisis. Absolute crisis. Hell, if you win 1 and draw 2, it's verging on crisis. And I don't always get the feeling that that's something that the management team are entirely in tune with.